The storm comes first. Across the black mountains of Esya, the wind howls like a wounded god. Snow whirls and spirals, devouring the light, and yet, beneath that silence, the earth trembles. From the heart of stone and frost, fire erupts, red and gold, painting the night with blood and dawn. Out of the smoke, four shapes emerge, vast, ancient, and breathing the rhythm of creation. The bull, born of strength and soil, its horns glistening like glaciers. The dragon, coiled in molten flame, eyes blazing with volcanic wrath. The eagle, tearing through the storm, wings cutting the sky into shards of light. And the giant, towering above them all, carved of basalt and thunder, whose breath is the wind that shapes the cliffs of Iceland itself. They do not speak, yet every heartbeat of the land echoes their presence. These are the four guardian spirits of Iceland, the unseen defenders of a realm where fire meets ice, and man stands between them. Centuries later, their visages would rise again, not from ash, but from the hand of a nation reborn. When Iceland forged its coat of arms, it did not choose crowns or eagles of empire. It chose its gods, its guardians, its essence. Upon that shield, the bull, the dragon, the eagle, and the giant still stand, ancient sentinels watching over a young republic. In the endless storm of history, they whisper through stone and sky, "We guard the land that guards its own." How did these four mythical beings, once carved from saga and snow, become the immortal face of Iceland itself? In the beginning, there was a challenge from the sea. The story is written in the Heimskringla, that ancient saga where myth and history walk as one. It was the age of kings and of omens. King Harald Bluetooth of Denmark, master of northern tides, sought to conquer all the lands that lay within his ship's reach. His messengers brought word of a cold island to the northwest, a land of fire beneath ice, of men who spoke to storms. And so he sent his seer, armed with spells, to test its will. But when the sorcerer's ship neared the Icelandic coast, the waves rose against him. The winds screamed, the earth groaned, and from the mist emerged four beings, vast as mountains, bright as flame. On the eastern shore stood a bull, stamping the sea into foam. In the south, a fierce dragon, its wings spreading over cliffs and lava plains. To the west, a mighty eagle, eyes of lightning. And in the north, a giant, black as basalt, his roar echoing through fjords. They guarded the island's corners, facing outward, and the seer fled, his magic shattered by a land alive with its own gods. Harald never came. The prophecy was sealed. No king shall ever rule Iceland, for the land itself has already chosen its protectors. Centuries turned, the sagas grew into memory, and memory into identity. When Christianity came, the gods faded from the altars, but not from the soil. Farmers still whispered to the winds before harvest. Fishermen still left offerings on basalt rocks before sailing. The bull, the dragon, the eagle, and the giant, no longer feared, but revered as the soul of the island, guardians of its solitude. Then came the age of nations, and Iceland, for centuries bound to Denmark, began to stir again beneath the ice of submission. The 19th century brought poets and dreamers who dug into the sagas as one digs for embers in snow. They found not myths, but mirrors of endurance, courage, and defiance. So, When Iceland declared its sovereignty in 1918 and began to design its own coat of arms, the choice was never in doubt. It would not bear the lion of Denmark or the eagle of empire. It would bear its own guardians, born of lava, storm, and spirit. In 1919, the seal was completed, a silver cross on a blue shield, the sign of the Christian North, and around it, the four protector spirits carved in quiet power: the bull of the east, the giant of the north, the eagle of the west, and the dragon of the south. Each faced outward, warding the island from all directions, their ancient forms now eternal in silver and sapphire. When the seal was unveiled, elders wept. They said it was as if the land itself had spoken again after 1,000 years of silence, not in thunder, but in the language of symbols, the bridge between myth and nationhood. From that day, the coat of arms of Iceland ceased to be a mere emblem. It became faith carved in ice and fire. The 20th century arrived like a breaking glacier, slow, immense, unstoppable. Iceland stood at the edge of two worlds, the old one of sagas and solitude, and the new one of machines and empires. And between them burned its symbol, the four guardian gods, still watching from their shield of blue and silver,
Sagas speak
the
of
shadows
four
of
elemental
war.
guardians,
When World War I
ancient
ended,
beings tied to
Iceland's
the land.
new coat of arms gleamed with fragile pride. The island was sovereign, but still tethered to Denmark, a kingdom of old ghosts and fading crowns. Then the world burned again. In 1940, as Nazi forces
Iceland
swept through Europe, Iceland
forever
found itself
protected.
alone. Denmark fell, but Iceland stood, cold, defiant, and unbowed. The British landed on its shores, not as conquerors, but as protectors. American troops followed, carving
Our
airfields into
shield
lava
guards
plains,
the land,
their
as
engines
the
echoing
sagas
like
foretold.
thunder under the northern lights. And yet, amid all the steel and smoke, the nation's soul did not bend. Artists painted the guardians anew, the bull standing against invasion, the dragon breathing defiance, the eagle watching the skies, the giant holding the mountains firm. They became more than myth. They became metaphor for endurance. Even as warplanes crossed the Arctic wind, people whispered, "The spirits still stand. No storm breaks the land that believes." The birth of independence.
This
On June
shield,
17th, 1944,
this
as the war
flag,
still raged across
our
continents,
future.
Iceland proclaimed itself a republic. Rain fell softly over Thingvellir, the same valley where the world's oldest parliament was born 1,000 years before. The crowd stood beneath the flag of blue, red, and white, and the coat of arms carried by soldiers and children alike was raised into the wind. At that moment, the four guardians returned, not from legend, but from memory. In the roar of the wind, some swore they heard the low breath of the bull, the cry of the eagle, the hiss of the dragon, the rumble of the giant beneath the earth. A nation that had waited 900 years was whole again. The symbol had endured the ages, from myth to colony to nationhood, and now it burned with a new meaning. Freedom was not granted, it was guarded. The cold silence of the Cold War. Then came the Cold War, and Iceland, small yet strategic, became a listening post between two worlds. American radar domes rose like white scars against volcanic ridges. Jets streaked across the northern sky. But the guardians remained.
The
The people of Iceland began to see in them a different truth, that their strength lay not in armies, but in balance between east and west, nature and progress, fire and ice. They built schools instead of fortresses, literature instead of propaganda, and their artists, musicians, and poets turned once again to the old myths, finding in them the timeless voice of a small nation standing between giants. Through the Cold War, the coat of arms appeared everywhere, in schools, in courts, on passports, on ships that braved the Arctic Sea. It was a quiet defiance, a whisper carved in official wax. We are here, we endure. The Renaissance of the North. When the Iron Curtain fell, a new dawn touched the ice. Iceland emerged not as a pawn, but as a voice of creativity, culture, and ecological spirit. The four guardians returned once more, now painted by filmmakers, sculptors, and musicians, their forms abstract, glowing with northern light and sound. In the works of poets like Sion and artists like Hérault, the old gods were reborn, not as relics of pagan fear, but as symbols of identity and resilience. The bull became the will of the people, the dragon, the creative fire, the eagle, the perspective of the mind, and the giant, the steadfastness of the land itself. In Reykjavik's parliament, the emblem gleams still, a reminder that a nation's strength does not come from size, but from the spirit that survives every winter. And outside, on the cliffs of Esja, where snow meets steam, locals still say that when the wind roars from four directions, the guardians are awake again. Empires fall, kingdoms fade, but the land of fire and ice still breathes, for its gods were not made of stone, but of endurance. Every nation hides its soul within its symbols. But in Iceland, that soul does not rest. It erupts, freezes, and sings. The coat of arms of Iceland is not a heraldic ornament. It is a living cosmology, a compass carved from ice, stone, fire, and faith. Let us unfold it piece by piece, as one would read the runes of the North. I, the shield of blue and silver, the heart of ice and faith. At the center lies the shield, simple yet eternal, a silver cross on a blue field, the echo of the northern sky mirrored upon frozen seas. Its design follows the Nordic cross, shared by nations of the north, yet its tone, deep ocean blue, pure glacial white, speaks a language distinct from its neighbors. Blue is not merely color, it is silence. It is the hue of depth, of fjords that swallow sunlight, of nights under the aurora. And silver, the breath of ice, the purity of endurance, the light that survives the long winter. Together they form not a symbol of conquest, but of balance, where faith meets frost, where Christianity met an older, colder reverence for nature. The cross shines as both the mark of the North and the bridge between worlds, between pagan mountain spirits and the cross of man. In its restraint lies its power. It whispers rather than shouts. Strength does not need flame. It endures in frost. 2. The four guardians, the pillars of the land. Surrounding the shield stand the four protector spirits, each facing outward, east, south, west, and north. A living circle of defense drawn from the oldest Icelandic saga, They are not decorative beasts, but manifestations of the land itself, each tied to an element, a direction, a virtue. 1. The bull of the east, the strength of the earth. He stands firm, hooves rooted in the basalt plain. His breath steams like the mist from geysers, his eyes calm, yet unyielding. The bull is steadfastness, the will to endure against hardship. To the Icelanders, he is the farmer, the worker, the backbone of the land, for even on barren soil, life pushes through. He is the patience of the field and the strength of those who till it. His horns mirror the mountains, his step, the rhythm of the north. From the east rises the bull, the land's quiet defiance. 2. The dragon of the south, the fire beneath the ice. Beneath the glaciers sleeps the dragon, not of greed, but of power, of creation and destruction intertwined. It breathes lava and renewal, for in Iceland, to burn is to be reborn. Its wings arc across the shield's southern side, symbolizing both the fury of volcanoes and the energy of transformation. To the Icelandic mind, the dragon is not evil. It is nature's awakening, the pulse that reminds humankind of its smallness and its courage. From the south comes the dragon, the fire that teaches life to rise again. 3. The eagle of the west, the vision of the sky. The western horizon in Iceland ends where the ocean swallows the sun. There soars the eagle, fierce, solitary, wise. Its wings stretch across the sea winds. Its gaze far beyond the Atlantic. It represents vision, freedom, and judgment. The clarity that comes from distance. It is also the messenger between worlds, between mortal will and divine understanding. In its feathers gleams the mind of the nation, the poets, thinkers, and wanderers who dared to dream beyond their island's edge. From the west rises the eagle, the mind that sees beyond the storm. 4. The giant of the north, the endurance of stone. And finally, to the north, the realm of shadow and wind, stands the giant. His body is of stone, his veins run with snowmelt, his breath becomes the very gales that sculpt the cliffs. He is the guardian of endurance, the embodiment of the island's loneliness and strength. He is not malevolent. He is the memory of the land itself, the eternal witness to those who came, fought, and vanished. To look upon the giant is to confront the truth of Iceland, that existence here is a pact between humanity and the elements. From the north stands the giant, silence given form. 3. The arrangement, the cross, within the circle. The 4 guardians do not surround the shield at random. Each one faces outward, protecting the 4 directions. An invisible circle that mirrors the wheel of the seasons, the turning of storms, the dance of wind and fire. At the center, the cross, not as domination, but as axis mundi, the intersection between the divine and the earthly, between the ancient spirits and the modern state. Thus, the Icelandic coat of arms becomes a cosmogram, a vision of balance between opposites, fire and frost, body and spirit, old gods and new faiths. IV, the base of stone, the island itself. Beneath them all lies a platform of rough basalt, the same volcanic rock that built the island from ocean's fire. It anchors the emblem to its geography, a reminder that Iceland's strength is not abstract, but geological. Its foundation is real, heavy, eternal, like the land itself. V, the palette of the north, the colors of endurance. Blue, the ocean and the mind. White, purity and endurance. Red, the hidden fire beneath the ice. Gray, the wisdom of stone. Together, they form the chromatic hymn of Iceland, a world painted not in abundance, but in essence. The coat of arms of Iceland is therefore not a relic of medieval heraldry. It is a map of existence, a dialogue between myth and geology, faith and frost, man and the earth that bore him. To the untrained eye, it is but a shield. To the Icelandic heart, it is a covenant between what burns, what freezes, and what endures. In the land of fire and ice, even silence has guardians. Symbols live only as long as hearts remember them. In Iceland, the four guardian spirits are not imprisoned in stone or flag. They breathe through the lives of the people, through ritual, art, sport, and silence. Here, myth has not died. It has become ordinary, woven into the pulse of a modern nation that still walks between fire and frost. The soldiers and the shield. At dawn, in the crisp air of Reykjavik, the Icelandic Coast Guard salutes the flag. Upon their sleeves gleams the national coat of arms. The bull, dragon, eagle, and giant surrounding the blue cross like sentinels of the storm. Their oath is simple: to guard the land that guards us. Unlike the armies of great powers, Iceland's defenders are few, but their strength lies in spirit, not number. When ships face the wrath of the Arctic, sailors speak softly of the giant of the north, the one who holds the mountain steady, so we may return. Even today, in the crests of the Navy and Air Rescue Service, the four guardians watch, not as weapons, but as prayers, the passport and the promise. Each Icelander carries a small blue book, their passport, stamped with a coat of arms in silver. To the traveler, it is more than identification. It is a piece of home. On every journey, from Berlin to Boston, from Tokyo to Toronto, that shining emblem whispers, "You carry the island within you."
What happened next.
The blue and silver cross is seen again on embassies, coins, and schools. A quiet reminder that the Icelandic identity does not shout. It endures. The stadium and the
symbols
roar.
match the
When
old
the national
Icelandic
football
texts.
team walks
Indeed,
onto the field,
stylistic
the
elements
crowd's
are
chant is
unmistakable.
not just a cheer. It is invocation. The blue jersey bears the same cross as the coat of arms, and behind the team's emblem, the guardians remain unseen, yet present. When Iceland stunned the world in Euro 2016, defeating giants far greater than themselves, many said it was the spirit of the land itself rising to the pitch. In every "huh" that echoed through the stadium, you could hear the bull's stamp, the dragon's cry, the eagle's call, and the giant's roar. It was not only football, it was the heartbeat of an island roaring through human lungs, the poets and the flame. In Reykjavik's cafes, poets recite lines that still tremble with myth. "We are the children of basalt and snow, the keepers of flame. beneath the frost. In their verses, the four guardians are not ancient monsters. They are metaphors of resilience, solitude, and imagination. Modern musicians like Björk sing of oceans that breathe, while filmmakers capture mountains as if they were living gods. Through art, the emblem transforms, becoming a dialogue between ancestry and innovation, between volcanoes and violins, silence and song. The festivals and the flame of unity. Each year, on June 17th, Iceland celebrates its independence. The square of Reykjavik fills with flags, music, and faces bright with northern light. Children wear paper crowns with the four guardians, and fireworks paint the sky in blue and silver arcs. In that moment, myth and democracy clasp hands. The same guardians once feared by kings now stand for the people, as if the spirits of fire, ice, air, and stone had pledged themselves to human freedom. The people and the silence. And beyond the noise, there is the other Iceland, the one of silence,
the old
solitude,
sailor, he looked at the
and
waves,
snow.
knew the spirit
There,
of the
among
island was
lava
in them.
fields
A
and
true
moss,
story,
hikers
passed down
pause
through
before the
generations.
vastness and feel, not fear, but presence. They say the air itself hums with watchfulness, that when the northern lights move across the sky, the guardians are walking again. Fishermen still leave pebbles on coastal rocks before a voyage, a quiet salute to the bull and the eagle. Farmers still whisper to the wind
Our
in
history
spring,
is in the stones,
may the
but our
dragon
future is in
wake
our
the
children.
earth. For
The
in
sea
Iceland,
teaches us
the
patience and
sacred
strength,
has
like
never left. It simply changed its language from prayer to habit, from saga to heartbeat. The four still walk among us, unseen, but never absent. They live in our work, our laughter, our storms. For every Icelander who endures, they too endure. The 21st century dawns quietly over Iceland, a land still half asleep beneath its own eternity. Volcanoes hum beneath the ice, glaciers drift like slow prayers, and above them all, the coat of arms still gleams, the four guardians unblinking, eternal in their watch. In a world that shouts, Iceland listens, and in that listening, its symbol has transformed from a relic of myth into a mirror of meaning. The echo of politics, the quiet republic. In the halls of the Alþingi, the world's oldest parliament, the coat of arms presides above the speaker's chair, not as a mark of authority, but as a reminder. For Iceland learned long ago that power is stewardship, not rule. Each guardian faces outward, not inward, a philosophy carved in silver. A true nation guards the world, not just itself. In times of political storms, banking collapse, volcanic ash, pandemic stillness, the Icelandic people turned again to their emblem, not to boast, but to remember. They saw in the bull the steadiness to rebuild, in the dragon the fierce will to rise from ruin, in the eagle the vision to see beyond despair, in the giant the patience to endure. The same myth that once frightened kings now comforts citizens. The artists and the new saga. In art, the symbol burns anew. Contemporary painters scatter ashes and glass into their canvases, making the guardians shimmer like auroras over dark seas. Filmmakers weave their shapes into landscapes, a mountain becomes a giant's shoulder, a river curves like a dragon's spine. In modern Icelandic cinema, nature and myth are not background. They are characters still speaking, still warning, still blessing. Musicians draw inspiration from the eagle's cry and the dragon's breath. The very rhythm of Icelandic sound, raw, minimal, infinite. The band Sigur Rós once said, "We don't sing about Iceland, we sing with it." And that is what the Guardians have become. Voices joined to the island's breath, the identity of a small giant. Iceland has fewer people than many cities, yet its identity stretches like its horizon. Boundless. Its national symbol has grown from heraldry into philosophy. Smallness as strength. Solitude as clarity, endurance as art. While the world rushes, Iceland stands, not frozen, but aware. It knows that every eruption is also renewal, that silence can be louder than empire. The four guardians thus remain both ancient and modern, a meditation in form, a promise in metal, reminding every Icelander that to endure is to create. The eternal dialogue of fire and ice. In this land, nothing dies. It transforms. The volcano that burns today will one day feed a glacier. The glacier that melts will carve new valleys for tomorrow's song. And somewhere within that endless exchange, the guardians keep watch, not as gods above, but as echoes within. To look upon Iceland's coat of arms is to see the eternal negotiation between man and nature, between myth and modernity, between destruction and creation. It is not a symbol of perfection. It is a symbol of becoming, the prophecy of light. One day, the sea may rise and the ice may fade. The cities of men may crumble, and the winds will sing through their ruins. But as long as fire and frost still meet beneath the sky, the spirit of Iceland will not fall silent. For the bull will still guard the fields, the dragon will still kindle the depths, the eagle will still soar beyond storms, and the giant, patient and nameless, will still hold the land. As long as the four guardians stand, Iceland will remain a heartbeat between fire and ice, a whisper that outlasts empires.